Greetings and salutations, everybody. This is Jake Metzger speaking, and this is episode 107 of the Snarp Fangle podcast. I'm your host, like I said before just now, Jake Metzger. And today, I'm here to talk to you about a very specific topic. It's about the life of a man we all know and love, who's wearing a hat that has got a Japanese artistry on it. I'm sure it's from Japan. But anyway, you love him, you know him. Nobody can hate this man. It's impossible to hate this man, except for his take on something Star Wars. Ladies and gentlemen, David Reed.
I don't know. I feel like it's pretty possible to hate me.
I don't know.
Especially too considering some of the comments and feedback we've received on my views on things.
Oh man,
has been shall we say entertaining.
Yeah, and if you have any feedback about David's opinions and tasteful thoughts, send them on over to snarpfanglepod@gmail.com. Or you can just text Jake, which some of those out there have, about complaining about David's opinions. But it's all good, because we're here. We're not queer, and we're just chilling. Just two beardy white guys. All right, David. Well, welcome. How are you?
Doing all right.
All right. Good to hear. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Doing all right. I made some money today. I sold a laptop. I'm pretty proud of that. Had a kid that I work with, and he said, "Hey, man, you got 2 laptops. You're working here in your free time at work. How about you just give me one of them?" And I said, "Well, Mr. Sir, I don't think so. Unless you got $150, because that's basically how much it cost me." And he's like, "No, you should just give it to me." And I said, "Sorry, bucko." And then he said, "Hey, I'll do it. $150. And I did. And he got it. And he was pretty happy with it. So we got that all figured out, and I'm $150 richer today. Feels good. Even though it'll probably be gone by next week. Bills are coming. Oh, well, David, I was wondering, what do you want to talk about today? I got something lined up right here if you want to dive right into it.
Yeah,
we're kind of doing another whatever episode. Catching up with Jake and David, if you say.
Let's dive into your thing.
All right, sounds good. Well, it's funny because we were kind of figuring out, okay, well, we're pushing the one we had planned for tonight to record another time. I needed more time on it personally, and the other people needed time on it. So, it's a meaty one. It's a big meaty episode. So I'm like, what can we do tonight? Let's do another catching up with Jake and David. What's been on the minds of Jake and David in the last couple of weeks or months or several months, half a year probably since we've done the last one. I'm going to have to look it up, but I don't know what our last catching up with Jake and David episode was. I want to say 87. I'm going to check real quick. What do you think it is, David? It's been a while.
No, it's been a little while.
That was into the Fangleverse, I believe.
I think that was the last one.
Let's see. YouTube Studio. It's loading, ladies and gentlemen. It's loading. Channel dashboard. Content.
I have to say, though, your thumbnail for that particular episode was pretty good.
Oh, the Fangleverse one?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Oh, it's going to start playing the audio. Okay, there we go. All right, let's see. Into the fan. Yeah, that was a fun episode. We talked about a bunch of different things. We talked about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. We talked about theology. Billy Graham was mentioned once or twice. Jesus was in there.
Yeah, I feel like
Candace Owens, I think, was brought up a few times.
Maybe.
Just a random one.
Oh, well, we had another one where we talked about Candace Owens too.
Let's see. Where is it? Oh, wow. It was way back. Here, let me click on it. It was before we even did the Arcane. The Arcana. Yeah, 78. Dang.
Wow.
That's crazy.
That's like a lifetime ago.
Yeah. We were talking about Nick Fuentes and Jordan Peterson and Ian Carroll, and I had you as Miles Morales from Across the Spider-Verse in there. That was a fun episode.
Speaking of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, though.
Oh, man. Not to get political or anything, but speaking of her.
No, tangentially related. I was rewatching some old Red Letter Media videos, And they did a really funny one with a guy who's like a voice actor and is known for doing a really good Arnold impression. I guess his particular claim to fame was calling into the Howard Stern show while I think George Takei was on there. And they were debating some kind of law that was going to be passed in California or something.
Mm.
And this guy called in to the show using his Arnold impression and like basically had a BS political conversation with George Takei.
That's hilarious.
And this was when Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of this state. So, so he was speaking as the governor of California to a completely unwitting George Takei over the phone.
Oh my god,
it was amazing. But that's
so funny.
So they brought this guy on for like a like voice impression game show. And I think it was supposed to be kind of like a humiliation ritual for him because the other two people who were the quote unquote contestants got like all the iconic ones that he would have been able to do easily, you know? And then like his were like random ones. One of them was Ruth Bader Ginsburg. And I remember it because he made an attempt at sounding like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, jeez.
And it actually like, they actually intercut like an audio clip of her speaking after his go at it. Yeah. And the funny thing is, he was actually kind of close.
Really? Huh.
Which is really weird to me because I had never heard her speak. Like, I've read quotes of hers, but I've never heard audio of her speaking ever. So it was really funny to hear someone trying to do an impression of her just off the cuff. But yeah, it's called Impressions, Red Letter Media. Oh, such a great video. You should all check it out.
I'll check it out. Yeah, it was the same thing for me. I've never heard her speak or listen to audio clips. Maybe a very brief snippet back in like the 70s or something, or 80s something. Like that was some video I watched. But that was about it. Never really heard her. So it'd be interesting to go seek that out. But yeah, the last one we did was 78. God, that was forever ago. That was back like last summer. Guess we've just been too creative to do one without planning things.
I guess so.
Yeah, well, let me get to my topic here. By the way, before we say anything, I want you guys to go check out our Two Films podcast. Now, you might be thinking, Jake, what are you talking about? That's part of the Snarp Fangle podcast. No, it's not. The Two Films is now its own podcast for those uninitiated. In fact, it's kind of been its own podcast. It's been an entirely different format a little bit. And there's a version, there's like alpha and beta episodes, we'll say. And then we just did the third official episode now. But the ones we've been doing the last couple of years have been the beta episodes. Just saying. Now we're full 1.0 of Two Films, baby. Our last episode we did was released last week as of this recording, called two animated dark fantasy films. And we did Last Unicorn and The Black Cauldron, if you want to hear our thoughts on them. But I want to say, David, I am really proud of this thumbnail. Like, out of all the thumbnails we've done, I'm really proud of this guy.
I liked your effect on the that you did on your photo. I liked it. I feel like some of the background details, man, though, there was room for more.
I agree, but
there was room for more.
I wanted to highlight the stuff, the things that are just right there. And I feel like smoke in the background's just fine.
And our boy, the Horn King, you kind of shafted him.
Oh, shoot. I should have put him in there.
You shafted our boy, the Horn King.
Well, I also it sounds terrible to say, but I also shafted that tree that I wanted to put in there so bad. The voluptuous tree.
Maybe it's better that you didn't.
Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't. Yeah, maybe I could have put them on either side. But it doesn't matter. We have the Yassified unicorn. We have the Davidified unicorn. Gurgi sitting on top of David, and just me looking super dark and scary. That's all just like, and it's all through Canva. So it's like, I'm just going to keep working at this until I can get it done. And since with my job, I have an Adobe account, so I can go through the stock files and stock library. So all the flame effects and stuff and all that. It's pretty, I don't know. I'm really proud of it. I was like, I had the small idea and it was cool to act on it. It was really cool. But yeah, we've had some cool stuff lately. We did a Why We Loved the Xbox episode retrospective. We did a peak analysis on Led Zeppelin 4, which was an album, by the way, not a TV show or movie. And then we did a Half-Life retrospective, which is probably one of my most favorite ones we've done in the last while or so.
That was a fun episode.
Yeah, a lot of packed in detail about that game. Or the franchise, I should say.
Did you see the comment that was left on the Why We Loved Xbox episode?
Oh, yeah, the guy's like, it's because nostalgia, man.
You didn't know any better.
You didn't
It's
know
like,
any
oh my
better.
God.
Yeah, it's like, and of course, you have some kind of random bot that's about YouTube growth saying amazing content strategy. And then you love Xbox because nostalgia. You didn't know any better. Okay, I mean, fair enough.
I mean, nostalgia is kind of what drove that whole episode.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why we loved the Xbox.
But like knowing better has nothing to do with it.
Exactly. Well, I think now we know better. Let's be real.
I mean, well, like Xbox, let's be real. Xbox was great back then.
It was fantastic.
There's no better thing to know about what we loved about Xbox in the past. It was like Halo 2, unequivocally one of the greatest games of all time. And
story,
my nostalgia and memories for that game, there's nothing I need to know better about that.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't need to grow up and realize that I've loved a crappy game this whole time. That's simply not true.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, yeah, I will say, you know what? One of my favorite episodes we've done, David, just recording, like just recording wise, was, it was when we did all those 2 films in a row. And we did, I believe it was right after we did the 2 Alan Moore adaptations with Angela. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, the spooky 2 films-a-thon that we did for last October.
Yeah, the 2 Robert Eggers ones we started out with, that was pretty great.
Oh, I love that my idea for the thumbnail on the Robert Eggers one actually worked out
so well. It works it's one of my favorite thumbnails. So good. Oh man. Yeah, there's some good stuff in here. All right, enough about ourselves. Well, wait. Isn't that kind of what we talk about anyway?
Sure.
Anyway,
what's your topic, Jake?
So my topic is the last couple weeks I was looking up some tutorials because here's the story. Basically, I bought some hardware back, I want to say 2024, and it was right before I went off to the fires, and I bought some hard drives, and I'm like, gosh, dang, these hard drives are cheap on eBay. Why are they so cheap? So I bought one. I bought 2 8 terabytes, I bought 2 4 terabytes, I bought 2 2 terabytes. Man, they were cheap. And I'm like, man, they're refurbished, they're good, HGST, branded. Man, these suckers they're awesome. And then I try to put them in my case, and then I'm about to plug them in, and I realize they're SAS hard drives, which means basically they're incompatible with the plugs on my computer, the power supply and all that. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. I was going to get some good storage for a good price, and you're telling me these are server-grade hard drives that I can't use? And I'm like, well, let me get an adapter. Then it turns out, yeah, you need an adapter, but you also need an add-in card to plug into the motherboard. So there's lots of layers to it. And the add-in card needs to be flashed. The BIOS needs to be flashed into IT mode. It's like, oh man, come on, man. I should have done my research. And by the time I got back from the fires, it was too late to return all those drives. It's 30-day return policy. I was gone for much longer than that. So I was really bummed out, really sad. Took a couple years for me to get back to it, which has been the last month or so. So I finally did more research, really hunkered down and said, oh, I got to buy this add-in card. And I found this tutorial from this guy, and he's selling them on eBay. He's been on eBay for 20 years. Very informational guy. He even refunded me a little bit of my shipping costs because it was bundled in. So I bought some cables from him, an add-in card, and I bought another office PC that's kind of flat. So we put it under the entertainment center or wherever we want. I'm like, okay, cool. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a home server. So this has been my journey, just for now, last 2 weeks. Walk along with me, David. Come and sit on my lap, little boy, as I regale you with the journey of, so far, of a beginner's home server experience. And it's just so funny. So, I tried to be a good level 1 tech, and started cataloging all the changes to my server. So every time I'm like sitting down and I'm transferring files or I'm changing settings or whatever, I write down the majority of what I do, just stuff I know I'll need to remember, like passwords and usernames and stuff like that. And like my experience. And that's what I'm kind of going off of today, which is funny. I have like probably a page and a half of notes. So it's like kind of a happy little accident of that we picked it as a topic today because it's actually some read about it. All right. So with that said, the PC arrived, David. I get the PC. And for those unaware, you're like, what the heck's a server? It's basically somebody else's computer that your stuff is on. You know Google Drive? Well, the stuff you upload to Google Drive is just one of Google's computers they got going on with a lot of storage. And it's sectioned off to your account, and that's it. Your 15 gigabytes. And you're like, oh, $2.99 a month or $3.99 a month or $1.99 a month for like, 100 gigs? Sounds good to me. That's penance, man. That's highway robbery. Because I'll tell you what, I got 8 terabytes back there. The 2 8 terabyte drives, I got one in there and one for redundancy, so it's one fails, the other one's good. RAID 1, baby. And we're just getting started. So some of the IT people are like, oh God, this guy's he's blowing hot air, which is true. But also, this guy is just, what is he talking about? Well, this is just the beginning of the journey. So walk with me as we go along on this fantastic voyage. So anyway, I get the computer off eBay. It has one hard drive cage in it, unfortunately, so one goes in there. I'm like, okay. I guess I'll zip tie the other sucker into that other drive that has no caddy in it. Turns out I screwed in it, like I put it up against the metal with the screws and screwed it into the metal a little bit, and then zip tied the other end of the hard drive, and boom, we got ourselves some 8 terabytes of storage. So anyway, I struggle really hard with this add-in card. The computer I got has, and also, by the way, this is going to get a little technical, y'all, so get ready. I'm basically building my own Google Drive, for those curious. Anyway, I finagle it a bunch, take some RAM, put some RAM in, put some RAM out, figure it, turn it on, turn it off, kind of finagle. I keep getting the error beeps as I put in the card, and I'm like, dang it. So what I do is this, I install something called Zima OS. You can do it with TrueNAS or something like that, but I went with Zima. And basically what that'll enable me to do is an easy interface, graphically speaking, so I can find different Dockers or installation packages for different apps. So if I want Plex, which is for media streaming, or Jellyfin, which is also for media streaming, or like a Crafty, a thing called Crafty, which you can use for Minecraft servers, that kind of thing. I just need 8 terabytes. That's all I need. So we're just getting started here. And so I get the PC, I finagle with it, and then figure it out. And it flippin' works. After some troubleshooting for a day or two, I figured it out. And it runs. And the card is recognized by the OS. And I took the 4 sticks of 4 gigs out and put in 2 8 gig sticks. And then I was able to make it all work with the 2 drives. So it's pretty cool. And an SSD for the OS gone. So I throw it underneath the home entertainment system in the living room. I just turn it on, make sure it's set up and connected with my computer. And then I unplug the monitor from the home server and the keyboard and mouse. And I close the doors on the home entertainment center and it's ready to go. It just stays on all the time like a good server. Anyway, so basically I'm getting into it and I get it set up and I'm installing apps and I'm like, this could be really cool. Because basically the reason why I'm doing this is I'm really tired of paying for Google Drive space. Like I think for our account for Snarp Fangle to back up our stuff, I pay for the 2 terabyte plan. And I think it's $12 a month right now, which isn't terrible. But why not do it at home if it's possible and it's, decently doable, Took some work, took some effort, took some time, but now I don't need to pay that $12.99 a month or whatever. And so I'm going to try to back everything up to that. But I also need to get some new hard drive cases and do that. But we'll figure that out later. But these 8 terabytes are just for music, movies, and game stuff for now. Anyway, so I get it all together. I'm setting it up. I'm watching tutorials on YouTube. I'm getting recommended different stuff too from there. And I got to say, I'm really impressed. So basically what I've done is I installed Plex and Jellyfin. And my journey right now is I'm just transferring all the MP4s, the ripped DVDs and the ripped Blu-rays I've had throughout all my teenage years and adulthood onto the server. There's about 4-ish terabytes worth of shows and DVDs I got. Which isn't that much, to be honest. And I'm really, really happy, David. Now, there's some glitches. So basically it's a lot to get into. I won't get into all of it. But I got the OS on there. I'm managing stuff. I'm accessing it from my Windows Explorer. I also came into some errors because when I tweaked my PC, like took all the privacy stuff out of it for Windows and all that kind of stuff. I also disabled network sharing. So I had to figure that out and turn that back on. There was a batch file I had to figure out and a script I had to run, but figured it out. And then I think all the other LAN PCs are set up without network sharing. So I'm going to have to figure that out at some point so we can start sharing stuff back and forth. But yeah, it's been really cool. So I have transferred over about, I want to see how much it is. I want to say it's like 3 terabytes or 4 terabytes worth of shows and movies. And that's pretty much everything. I can even access the server right now, right in front of me. But anyway, it's been really, really cool. And like, I have all 8 seasons of Magnum PI, right? And I went ahead and I transferred them over. Now, it sucked because Plex thought it was the remake of Magnum PI from a couple years ago, where they made Higgins a woman. Blasphemy. So stupid. I'm sorry, guys. I need to rant about that for 1 second. Hey, if you ever watch Magnum PI, you got Magnum, who's at Robin Masters' Hawaii plantation, basically. And just chilling in his mansion, drives a Ferrari, he's a private eye. He's cool, man. It's 80s, baby. Yeah, Don Belisario, who eventually made NCIS. It's a great show. Higgins is a retired British Special Forces dude. This guy's short, but he deadly. And he got 2 Dobermans. You don't want to mess with this guy. He's British. And the guy who was in, the guy who's the mayor in Blazing Saddles plays Higgins.
Nice.
And this, it's a great show. Anyway. In the remake, they made him a woman. And I'm like, if you want to do something like Laura Croft, and this is like Laura Croft but retired, that's cool. But this is just some excuse to create sexual chemistry between the protagonist and this British chick that's taking care of the estate. It's stupid. Rant over. Continuing on.
I don't think it's an excuse to create sexual tension. I hate to say it, Jake, but I think it's part of pushing the message.
Nah, I think it's a mix of both, but moving on. You're probably right. Okay. So anyway, I have to go in and fix some stuff, but yeah, I go on the Xbox, I go on the Plex app, and I go to House Moving Castle and it plays. I'm like, dude, this is cool. Like, I just go into the app, like a streaming service app. I see it listed on there after I log in, and I click on it and boom, it starts playing. And I can scrub through it really easy. It's super fast. These SAS hard drives are way faster than regular hard drives, by the way. And the add-in card supports them. So I made all that. Sure, that was all taken care of. I think it's 12 gigabits or something like that in terms of hard drive speed. Anyway. So yeah, I booted up like, this is cool. Something also cool with Plex is that with the in-home streaming, you can, with the app at least, if you don't have the subtitle track, you can go in and you can click and search for a subtitle track. So say I don't have it on House Moving Castle, I can go through, it gives me a list from people who submitted like the ripped Blu-ray version, and I can click it and it can sync up. Now, I also had Rambo First Blood on there, and unfortunately, I couldn't find an audio track that synced up with it, but it's Rambo, you can't understand what he's saying anyway. So there's some mishaps, some glitches. I also, when I transfer over to Samurai Jack, it swapped episode like 7 and 10 and then 8 and 9 for some reason. It was really bizarre, and I had to double check my labeling on the files, and I had all the labeling correct. It just for some reason swapped them. I think it has to do with the release order because Samurai Jack had a different release order versus chronological order on the Blu-rays. It's complicated, but that's probably the reason. And it was only on season 1. Everything else was fine. And the cool thing about Plex, all you got to do is put them in a folder, label the folder what the show is, and just number them. And then it'll automatically do the rest, which is super neat. I remember I put Plex on my own computer and synced up to my hard drive. I'm like, okay, my library is this hard drive, my movie hard drive. and it was a mess. All the shows were labeled S1 and S2 for season 1 and 2. I had like 70 S1s. I'm like, come on, man. It was a mess. But now it's so much better. And I have all my ripped media here. Now, of course, if you don't have ripped media, you could also, find legal backups of other people's copies of this stuff, known as sailing the high seas, which I have done for some things. I mean, how else am I going to get all the Cobra Kai seasons? Let's be real. I think they've been downloading since yesterday. It's a big file. Anyway, so I've been transferring over all this stuff to the server, and I'm at the point where, and I also tried out the crafty Minecraft server thing, and I watched a tutorial about how to make it in this app and then go to playit.gg and get a thing set up with that. It was really cool. I was able to not only connect it locally, but connect it outside my network without having to port forward or anything. Really neat stuff. Again, I am all a beginner in this. But dude, just like, Netflix on your phone, I can go on my phone, watch the beginning of Samurai Jack episode, make dinner, and then go into the living room or wherever and turn on and resume it there. It's pretty seamless too. And of course, you can stream from multiple devices at once. It's all under your network, your own media that you own. So, David, what do you think of all this?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am excited for the possibility of backing up the audio files to this server when I do the thing instead of storing them on a removable SSD that is as slow as a snail.
Yeah, David has a vendetta against SD cards. That's for sure. But
well, the problem I have is I have a Samsung T7. I think it's a T7 that I use for offloading all the project files and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't, so I can keep them around in case I need to go back to them later. And they're not taking up space on my, 500 gigabyte laptop.
SSD. Yeah.
So, but the problem is it's, I don't know what's gone wrong with it, but it's slow. It's very slow. Like, I'm not looking for like cutting edge performance here. And this is pretty bad. I don't know what's up with it. So
the SSD?
Yeah, the SSD is very, very slow.
Huh.
Like ridiculously slow.
Weird.
So right now I have like 100 gigs worth of project files that I've just sitting on my hard drive on the laptop because I haven't wanted to take the time to transfer them over to the SSD.
It's just that bad, huh?
Yeah, it's very slow. I don't understand. It wasn't that way when I got it. And then...
Was it like the cable or something? Or using the same cable?
Using the same cable, yeah. I don't know what
and your MacBook only has USB-C ports.
Yeah, and it's... I know it's formatted correctly. It's formatted as a Apple file system or whatever to give optimal results. And I had the optimal results when I first got it. And then something happened. I don't know what. I don't know what changed. But it doesn't work as nearly as well as it used to. So it would be nice to be able to just, when I'm done, upload the project file to the server and be done with it.
Yeah. And the cool thing is that you can do it through Windows Explorer. There's a way to just set it up through there. You might have to go. What I've had to do so far is, actually, I've been able to make a shortcut on the left side of, Windows Explorer, and you're able to just drag and drop stuff, thankfully. You can also just do it on Mac. There's a way to do it there. In fact, when you go into the server and you log in, you can go into the file manager, and there's a share link. You click on a folder, you can right click it or whatever. It's called Samba Share or whatever, and it creates a shareable link for your network for your file explorer for Mac and Windows. So you click either the Mac one or the Windows one to copy, and you paste it in, and you can share it. So you put it either in Finder or you put it in Windows Explorer. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty dope. And so, yeah, that'll be way faster. Dude, it's one of the things I had to do on my journey of my home networking and that kind of thing. I went to school for this stuff, I should know more about it. But I had a lot of switches planted throughout the house that were just 100 megabit. So it's kind of like we'd only get 10 megabytes a second when transferring stuff. So, which was fine for streaming, but it kind of is really slow when I'm transferring like, a an 18 gig Blu-ray file MP4 over. It takes a while to get there. So I went through and thankfully I had plenty leftover gigabit switches from the LAN party. So I just swapped them out and put the 100 ones down, 100 megabit ones back in the box with the other guys. So now the whole house is gigabit, baby. Thankfully. Wow, it's 2005, man. We're having gigabit speeds in the home.
We're in the future.
We're in the future, man. Also, 10 gig stuff is still so expensive right now. I was trying to get a 10 gig switch, David, and it's like $150 for 6 ports.
Dang.
It's crazy, dude. Well, maybe not 6, but there was one I saw. It had 4 10 gig ports and 2.5 gig ports, which is cool, but that's what we don't have right now. But this is plenty fast for what we need. It's plenty fast.
Yeah, I know. I was shopping around for, not really shopping around, just looking, see what was out there for eventually wanting to upgrade my MacBook to something a little bit faster. And man, the like, it was like $100 or something like that or more to upgrade to gigabit Ethernet or 10 gigabit Ethernet on like the studios
iMac,
or whatever.
Yeah, the iMac Studio or Studio iMac.
It's crazy.
Dang, yeah, the 10 gig NIC is $100 extra. Ah, man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's yeah. I mean,
it's Apple.
It's one of those things where it's like I'm firmly in the Apple ecosystem, and I couldn't leave now even if I wanted to.
Oh, that kid that bought that laptop. He talks about you, and he's like, you know what you should do? And I was like, what? You should kick David out of the house because he's a Mac lover. He also says like, what was the other thing we were just talking about today? He's a kid I help out with at work, and he said, yeah, you should kick him out because he's a Mac lover. I was like, well, I don't know, man. Mac's kind of cool. I don't know if I do that because of just Mac. But then there's something else he brought. I'm like, oh yeah, I'd kick him out for that. Yeah. But it was like having new technology. I can't remember what it was. It was hilarious. But something else I was doing. I was organizing, like, I had different series that Chelsea have let me borrow over the years. She's a very familiar person on the high seas. She's not only on the high seas and Sea of Thieves, but she's doing real life Sea of Thieves on the World Wide Web, man. Like, I remember, man, that's how she's gotten all her anime, man. In fact,
I was gonna say,
what weeb doesn't pirate their anime?
Yeah,
man.
I was gonna say it's Chelsea. She's into anime. Of course, she's familiar with sailing the high seas.
One of her favorite games ever is also Sea of Thieves, which is also even more hilarious. But yeah, she gave me a copy of Darker and Black, the first season, so I'm excited to go through that.
And I of course, not being quite that level of weeb, spent real money on the DVD.
$80 or something crazy?
It was like 60.
Okay, so yeah. It was also during the pandemic too. Stuff was, it was cheap, but like if you were looking for that nostalgia like everybody was, stuff was a little more, pricey. So thank you, David, for your sacrifice. I think your DVD copy probably looks better than the copies of these episodes I'm looking at. Ooh, they look a little
rough.
I'm not gonna.
You might have to rip those, then put those on the Plex server.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, I was going through them and just labeling them, just doing tedious work. She got me Dragon Booster, which I grew up watching, which was, Nerd Corps, and man, it was on Jetix. On Disney Channel or whatever. Anyway, Dragon Booster. In the future, they race dragons. They don't have wings. They're just lizards. But anyway, I found out that because when she gave it to me, it just says file as the file type. And I'm like, gosh dang it. Do I have to encode these or something? So that's what I did for all of them. Turns out .mp4 at the end of the name, and it works. I was like, come on, man. Come on, man. I did all that work like 5 years ago or however long ago it was. But something cool, David, I did find out. I was trying to figure out with Sinners, because I have it on the Blu-ray. I was trying to figure out how to encode it so that I keep the aspect change scenes, where it goes to IMAX and it looks cool during the dance sequence and a couple other, major scenes. And when you just use default settings and Handbrake, it just crops it to, regular 16:9. I'm like, man, I want to watch this movie. I want to experience this movie. And so I was finagling around with the settings last night, and in Handbrake, after changing, I think it's the cropping setting, and then something else with, I think it was something else with the aspect ratio. Like you change it to dynamic and you change the cropping to none, and it just doesn't change it. It just keeps it as it is. And I ran it through H.265, like the 4K setting on Handbrake. And you know how small that file is now, even though it's like still pristine Blu-ray quality? Do you know how big that file is? It went down from 30 gigabytes. So what do you think it went down to?
What, like 1 gig, 2 gig, something like that?
That's exactly right, man. It went down to like 1.9 gigs, and it still looks flawless. And I also figured out the settings to keep the subtitles in there.
Very nice.
So I was very proud of.
I feel like at some point you're gonna have to graduate from Handbrake and start messing around in the deep waters of FFmpeg.
Oh yeah, I think I installed that one time. Yeah, that sounds familiar.
That's if
Mac one?
So it's like a general purpose software that can do all sorts of different audio and video, like encoding, de-encoding, demuxing, remuxing. It's can honestly do just about anything your heart desires, as far as like converting audio and video goes. The problem is it's entirely terminal based.
Oh, I knew you were gonna say that. I knew you were gonna say that. If this conversation wasn't already a turn off for some people, now it really is. You got to type your commands in. I might check that out. We'll see. I mean, the terminal gets it done. Let's be real. If you know what you're doing. But yeah, it went down to like 2 gigs. I was like, dude, this is awesome. And I opened it up in VLC and I'm like, this looks crispy. I like this. I like seeing, I love seeing Michael B. Jordan covered in blood in a beautiful 1440p master or whatever. Anyway, it downscaled it. I'm sure it looks less, but I think it looks fine. But you know why we're talking about this, David? You know why we're discussing this and I'm putting in these hard drives? You know what's interesting about all this?
What is?
Is that you can actually do this with like an old laptop, for example. Like say you have a laptop with like 6th, 7th, 8th gen, even older than that, Intel processors. You can take your old laptop you have maybe from like 2014 and on, and with a little bit of RAM and a couple hard drives, even external hard drives hooked up, you can do the same exact thing I did. You don't have to buy all this stuff from eBay or accidentally buy the stuff from eBay. It's pretty interesting. It still works. Now, if you want long term, you're probably going to want to, upgrade and maybe get enclosure for some hard drives, but, at your own pace.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing things like that. It's a great way to utilize laptops in general are things that are like eventually just become e-waste. No matter what you try to do to upgrade them, they eventually just become totally obsolete. So it's a great way to stave off that inevitable death just a little bit longer. And I've heard of people like installing Linux on their like the really bare bones text-based ones, whatever they're called. I can't remember, desktop environments or whatever they're called, and just basically using them as servers.
Yeah, it's funny, like kind of just being on Windows because you have to be. At least in my journey, it was you're on Windows because everything's on there. If you need your Adobe products, they're on there. If you need your games, they're on there. But now we're coming to an age where, and we were gonna kind of talk about this in our next tech talk episode, but touch on that, especially with Steam being involved with everything. But Steam really ironing out Linux and having that translation layer for games has just reaped reward upon reward over the decade or so they've been developing that thing. The Proton stuff to make Windows games run on Linux, and the Steam Deck in general, and now, excuse me, the Steam Machine coming out hopefully soon. We'll see.
You know why this is all coming to pass, Jake?
Why?
It's because Javier Milei won the election in Argentina.
Really? What?
It's because
Oh, was that
we're
like
moving. It's because we're moving towards the libertarian paradise.
God. I'll tell you what, if anything is libertarian, it's absolutely Steam. And it's funny too, because yeah, they're the market in quotes, or the libertarian option, but they have beaten out all the other launchers. Epic is like, nobody likes Epic Games right now. Nobody cares about Fortnite, really, at least people with taste, I should say. And they've just been giving away free games every week for the last 5 or 6 years, and they still can't get a hold of Steam, or even a smidgen of the number of users that Steam daily runs. So it's really interesting. So yeah, Steam, and of course, because they're the only player in the market on PC, you got the EU coming in trying to say anti-competitive stuff, which is total bullshit. I'm sorry. And then you got stuff like some other stuff. I think some places in the US that are trying to push laws against Steam, not laws against Steam, I should say, but just questions about censorship and stuff like that. And they had a whole kerfluffle last year about kind of just taking off a bunch of adult only games, and people freaked out, which go play those games somewhere else, man. Like if you want to go into the hentai and all that crap, yeah, go for it. Sure, go ruin your spiritual side of your life. Sure, them big old tiggle anime titties, man. Let me tell you, they do look weird and cool, but I don't know, man.
Or you could just not.
Or you could just not do that. Just don't do it, bad boy.
Yeah, but and also, did you hear about Gabe Newell defeating that Rothschild guy in court?
No, maybe vaguely. What's the deets on that?
So basically, this Rothschild guy, he's one of the Rothschilds. Every conspiracy theorist knows about the Rothschilds. Basically, they're a very rich and powerful family, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories, which are probably not conspiracies, or I should say, probably not theories, about them floating around out there. But I won't get into all that. But one of the Rothschild people, is a guy who owns a lot of patents, and he's what we call a patent troll.
Oh man,
where he just like, he's like, yeah, sure, you could use my patent, and then he like, he pulls the rug out from under you. He does the whole Darth Vader thing in Empire Strikes Back, where he's altering the deal. Pray he doesn't alter it any further. But yeah, anyway, so he has kind of a reputation for doing that. And so I guess he owns the patent for cloud computing.
What?
Or like one of the patents that's like, or one patent that is extremely like vital to cloud computing in general.
Huh.
I don't remember the details, so forgive me. It just came to me. And I guess Valve had a lifetime agreement with him. Like
what?
In order, like somehow Valve secured a lifetime agreement with him in order to make use of the technology covered by that patent indefinitely. And yeah, he tried to do his rug pull thing. But I guess Gabe Newell was smart and launched a countersuit with all the details of their agreement, as bringing it as evidence, and the judge ruled in his favor.
Dang. Wow.
And so, yeah, Gabe Newell. That's why I say we're moving into the libertarian paradise. First, Javier Milei gets
Uh,
elected as prime minister of Argentina.
uh-huh.
And then now Gabe Newell has defeated one of the Rothschilds in court.
By the way, Valve's a private company, so it's even sweeter, you know?
And what's really funny too, not to like branch into conspiracy land, but right after his victory in that court case, Letitia James, the AG of New
New
York,
York.
went after him on gambling charges.
Yeah, I was just about to bring that up. So the Attorney General sues Valve for promoting, quotes, illegal gambling through video games. So I didn't know that had any connection to this. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it's just the timing.
Yeah, the
He
timing.
wins the case against the Rothschild guy
Yeah.
over the cloud computing patent, and then right afterwards, Letitia James comes at him.
Dang, that's crazy. For those if you want to really dive into like the saga of Valve and the legal battles they've been in, especially in the last couple of years, Bellular News on YouTube. It's like Buell something, Bellular News. Or they're a British-based video game news company, basically. They do videos. And they've been chronicling all the like legal stuff that Valve goes through. Not in like a negative light. Sometimes it's that way, yes. But they've really dived deep and bring the facts, receipts, and all that stuff with some conjecture, of course. But yeah, February 25th this year, man, Letitia James, man, sued Valve Corporation for illegally promoting gambling through video games. Popular with children and teenagers at the very end is what they add. And it's like, come on, man. And they're like, this is a quote right here. Illegal gambling can be harmful and lead to serious addiction problems, especially for young people, said Attorney General James. Valve has made billions of dollars by letting children and adults alike illegally gamble for the chance to win valuable virtual prizes. These features are addictive, harmful, illegal, and my office is suing to stop Valve's illegal conduct and protect New Yorkers.
Yeah, you know that's some BS because all that boils down to is the whole basis of this lawsuit is over loot boxes.
Yeah, and I get
Which,
it.
if loot boxes are considered like illegal gambling, then
oh man,
every trading card game in
Yes!
existence needs to shut down right now.
Yeah, and if you go and read Valve's reply, I've read Valve's. I didn't even know this is from the .gov website, by the way, from New York that I read this quote from. But Valve also put out a presser about like this very thing, and they brought exactly that up. They brought up baseball cards. They said this has been around a very long time, and this is just the virtual version of that. Now, to be fair, there have been some videos from like CoffeeZilla, for example, that like make an hour-long documentary about Valve and illegal gambling sites and their connections to them. But there's not really any connection from Valve to those websites, with the exception of they're for their games. But there are some very sketchy gambling websites centered around CSGO skins and TF2 hats and, so on and so forth. But Valve doesn't really try to mingle or connect with any of those or share any money with those guys at all, except in the Steam ecosystem.
Yeah, see, that's the thing too, is this would be like, because we're living in like a post legalization of sports betting, so it's kind of everywhere now.
It's crazy.
But back in the day,
what's it called? Play 360 or Play 60 or whatever. Every football season, you get those ads on your videos and podcasts and your shows. It's like, or Prize Picks or whatever. I'm like, are we really, like, Kevin Hart's out there promoting this stuff? I'm like,
yeah, it's ridiculous.
This isn't good.
I guess too. Some dude got like a death threat over, or like basically some dude like messaged him anonymously, messaged his baseball player. It's like, you lost me a ton of money. You're going to need to get me that, or I'm going to find your family type thing.
God.
Yeah, it's crazy to the degree of just nonsense that has been opened up. But before all that, if you wanted to do sports betting, you had to do it through less than legal means. And you would go through a bookie operating from some out of some establishment that is not, you know, a legal business.
Mhm.
And so going after Valve for their connection to these illegal gambling websites would be like suing the MLB or the NBA or the NFL because of bookies doing sports betting.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. But back onto like kind of the central topic of this, like I think it's cool because Valve is a real kind of pioneer in not just the way with games and stuff like that and games in general and the marketplace of games. They have become the marketplace, specifically with PC. There's some rumors around right now that the next Xbox, which is going to be basically a PC, will also have the Steam store. And there's no reason why it would. Why would Microsoft make a piece of hardware that would have a store on it where they don't get a percentage cut of it and it just goes a 30% cut to Steam?
No,
And it
I
makes
don't
no
know.
sense.
I kind of agree with that Moore's Law is dead guy.
Yeah.
That I kind of think they'll allow you to play your Steam games
Yeah.
on this next Xbox. It just won't be a feature that's like super promoted.
Yeah. Well,
And they're gonna
yeah.
use the means at their disposal to try and incentivize companies to not put their games
Not put
on
their
Steam.
games. Yeah. But I think it's cool because right now Valve's like our cheerleader for basically the free market in a lot of ways, digitally speaking.
Yeah.
And with video games too. I mean, even technology wise. I mean, you have stuff like them coming in and doing the Steam machine and stuff like that, and the Valve Frame, which I think they're the only major company that's making a VR set for consumers specifically. Because MetaQuest is kind of being kaput and being put out to pasture right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
I
they're
forgot
getting rid,
about
they got rid
that.
of a bunch of their employees, shuttered a ton of studios. They're
Oh,
kind of getting out of
yeah.
that and just going to AI basically.
So apart from the Steam frame, was the MetaQuest the only other game in town for VR gaming?
Right now it's that MetaQuest 3, which was, I think it's 3 years old at this point. And then you have the PSVR 2, which didn't sell anything. And Sony's not investing in VR titles right now either.
Interesting.
So it's like really, interesting that the push away from VR, Valve's kind of the only one kind of keeping it. I mean, they can afford it, so there's that. But I think it's just cool that you have this big, rich nerd that is worth billions of dollars, and he's just keeping little projects alive, you know?
Yeah, he just does what he wants.
Mr. Gabe Newell.
Yeah.
Speaking of Gabe Newell, I found out today, or this last couple of weeks, that I'm related. You know how part of my family, their last name is... Never mind. Okay, so how do I not dox myself? Okay, so my name is Jake Metzger, but I'm related to people who are named Freeman, right? I'm related to a Gordon Freeman. So like, I thought it was really fascinating. I'm like, wait. And then there's a family story that I'll let one of my parents tell one day. When they come on the podcast about, but this guy who was like a crazy person in that family who, you know, is into drugs and stuff like that. There's a crazy story related to him about him, a shotgun, and my grandfather. That's all I'll say.
I think I've heard this.
Yeah, you've heard the story. My grandpa probably told you.
He did. Yes.
Yeah, and so that story, that's Gordon Freeman, David.
Oh, really?
That's Gordon Freeman.
Gordon Freeman.
That's Gordon Freeman.
Dude, that blows my mind.
I'm glad he didn't blow up anything else.
I heard that story when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm just now learning at the ripe old age of 36 that guy was Gordon Freeman.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We might as well tell the story here. Let's carry it on a little bit. Just a little. Let's carry it on just for a little bit. So the story goes that there's a crazy member of our family, apparently named Gordon Freeman. He was heavily into drugs. You can correct me if you can, David. I don't remember all the details. But so he had a beef with my grandpa. My grandpa would always preach at him, always just be blunt and share the word with him and tell him, you got to get yourself right, Gordon, and stuff like that. And one day he was just out of his mind on mushrooms or something. Who knows what he was on? Maybe cocaine and whatever else. Who knows? But anyway, he comes to the farm and something's going on at the barn. He goes down to the barn And my grandpa goes up to him and he confronts him. And Gordon has a shotgun and he points it at my grandpa. And David, do you remember what happens during this confrontation?
It's been a while.
It's been a while since I've heard it
So
too.
from what I remember, from him telling me the story, like I said, he told me this story when I was like 12, dude.
Yeah.
So it's been a while. So from what I remember, yeah, he had some kind of beef with your grandpa, and he points the shotgun at him, and then
He like kind of convinces him.
well, he basically like he says like I'm gonna shoot you or something like that, from what I remember. And your grandpa says like, no, you're not.
Yeah, and he like says like, name of Jesus, like
Yep.
you're not gonna do that or something like that. And then the few situations diffuse, he puts the gun away and he leaves. Years later, I think it was at like my grandpa, like his brother's funeral or something. So he goes down to like LA or something, goes to the funeral, and Gordon's there. Gordon's there. It's years later, who knows how many years, and it's a long time. And he goes up to my grandpa and he's like, hey, Merv. And he's like, hey, yeah, hey, Gordon, what's going on? And he's like, you remember that time I pointed a shotgun at you? And my grandpa said, yeah. And Gordon replied and said, I pulled that trigger. Oh man, gives me chills, man. It's so cool. Like God was totally protecting Grandpa there.
I mean,
Grandpa's cooler.
Your grandpa was a dope dude. Let's
Yeah.
be real.
He, for those imagining who he was, he's kind of like he looked like a little bit of mix between John Wayne and Robert Redford, especially when he's younger. He looks a lot like Robert Redford when he's younger, like a kind of like a more lanky Robert Redford, dairy farmer guy. Anyway, home server. what a journey we've been on. But yeah, I don't think I need to give a reason why I'm kind of building this server, because I think with the prices of streaming services specifically, I think that's reason enough to kind of wrangle your own home media and keep it to yourself. And with, the price of these big corporations offering services like AI and game streaming, where they have to host all that, it's costing those companies a lot of money, and they want you to stay on because you're paying that monthly ticket. They're making a profit off you, obviously. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a future where they kind of disincentivize that because of the price of the power, the price of the resources and natural resources to keep these data or server farms up going. It's kind of interesting. But right now, it's just the price just keeps going up.
Yeah.
It just keeps going up. Like I do the family plan for Spotify for a few of us, and it's $21 a month now for the family plan. It's crazy. For premium. Now, if you just want premium by yourself, I think it's $14. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I think YouTube Premium is still at $13 or $15 or $14.
Well, it's
was it 14 or 15?
It's 14 for the ad free, the lower tier ad free plan that's not truly ad free. The one that like the old plan,
yeah, that you and me have,
is like 18
now. Is it 18?
Yeah.
Really? Because every month it gets taken out of mine. I think it's $15, not 18.
Well, you might. Sure. I mean, if you signed up through it, signed up through it or something, through something else, maybe you get a discount. It's 18. And speaking of grandfathered in, if anyone's grandfathered in, I'm grandfathered in because I've had YouTube Premium since before it was called YouTube Premium.
Yeah.
So if anyone's getting grandfathered in, it should be me.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to watch some random Logan Paul series or Cobra Kai season 1. I'm here for ad-free videos, baby. And your whatever watch time gets sent to is worth higher or something. I don't know how it works.
I don't know what it means. Mostly, that's
probably the best deal in down right now.
I dislike ads, and also like for me, like YouTube is like one-stop shop for media, because like I listen to music on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't usually use like Spotify.
Mm.
Just
You guys are
because
missing out. I'm just saying, but
I
that's
was
more money.
I don't use Spotify. I don't use Apple Music, anything like that. I just use YouTube. And like YouTube now, it used to be that YouTube had the crappiest quality, like the compression would just
Mm.
wreck the audio.
Oh yeah,
But now the premium quality on music on YouTube
it's pretty good.
is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's really really good. And I don't know if it's quite as good as like Apple Music, but it's at least on par with Spotify.
Yeah, and Spotify, I feel like sometimes they've gotten worse, but now they're getting like that Apple Music and YouTube Music are a real good trifecta right now in terms of pricing and competitor right now. Because Apple Music's got, they got your high quality FLACs and all that if you want that, and your waves and stuff. And YouTube and Spotify are just, they get by, and you can listen to them, and they get good quality. Like there's stuff I go to YouTube specifically to listen to that I don't go to Spotify because I know it's going to be of higher quality. Just, hey, I want to find this and it's not on Spotify. All right, let me just go to YouTube. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be there and at a really good quality. I don't know why, just their music sounds so much better at times than Spotify.
Yeah, I don't know. It probably depends on certain artists too.
True,
Like
true.
the quality of the upload probably
That's
varies
true.
by
Yeah.
the artist.
That's funny you say that. I was actually listening to Octopath Traveler. It's a video game. I was listening to their soundtrack, and I had the audio really low. And then I went to the Stardew Valley soundtrack, and I had to turn it up way higher my computer's at the same audio level. But I had to turn it up, like I click on Stardew Valley, I had to turn it up way higher because it was a quieter track. Like it wasn't even a quieter track, it was the same. But it's just, I don't know, it might have been lower quality or something.
Yeah, well, it's like the YouTube does have like a little like normalize the volume differences thing between different videos thing that you can put on, but I don't think it works very well.
Yeah.
Just because like the like range of possible volumes that you can upload YouTube videos at,
Mm.
it varies so much. Like Spotify and Apple Music are a little bit more controlled in terms of what volume you can upload stuff at.
Yeah.
But YouTube is just like the Wild West when it comes to that. So
Oh,
like
yeah.
if it's like some kind of like, dude in his basement uploading, uh the tracks from that he got up by sailing the high seas, then who knows what volume level it's going to be uploaded at.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but I've realized there's some stuff I go look for from years ago that isn't on YouTube anymore.
Yeah.
Like different songs and stuff that just get taken down or whatnot, or they're just missing.
Yeah,
and
like
it's
that concert I just downloaded.
Oh yeah, that's right. Tell the folks about that.
Yeah, so there's this I'm like, this is part of the reason why I stuck with YouTube for music is I really, really love live performances. Like if I like the performance, I'll even watch a lower quality live performance if I like the performance over listening to the studio version. So there's a band from the 80s called The Police, who, I've listened to their stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a super fan of theirs, but they've got some good songs. But I really love their reunion concert stuff because they've got really good chemistry as a band. So their live performances are always full of energy. And even in the reunion concert, when they're all old, like that chemistry they have on stage is still there. And, because their older live performances that are recorded at like terrible quality with like, they're like recorded on VHS and stuff like that. It's really bad.
Yeah.
But their more recent reunion concert, that they actually did a commercial like release of the footage. You used to be able to find it on YouTube, like their concerts, their reunion concert footage, and I loved listening to it, but just because the chemistry between them was so great. Even though it's really funny, they broke up because they like hated each other, they had all this interpersonal conflict
Oh,
that got to such a degree that on their final album, they couldn't even be in the studio at the same time.
jeez.
Like they would come in and record their parts for that album while the other two were out somewhere else.
Hmm.
That's how bad their conflict got. And it's really funny. So they broke up because of that. Um, even though but maybe because of that interpersonal conflict, maybe not in spite of it, they had great chemistry on stage and their live performances are great. Fast forward to 2008, they do like this unexpected reunion tour
Oh,
after being broken up since like 87 or 88.
holy crap.
And
That's like 20 years later, man. Dang.
and it's just so interesting because like they still have that exact same stage chemistry, and if you pay attention to how they like talk to each other and look at each other, you can also tell that they didn't resolve their conflict that led them to break up the band either. Like
That's so cool.
it's a great watch.
Yeah, great watch. Entertaining.
But yeah, it got taken off of YouTube.
Oh.
And like it like got scrubbed off of YouTube because there was like one channel had like individual songs snipped out and uploaded as one song, and then there were multiple channels that had like the whole concerts uploaded, and all of that was just scrubbed off of YouTube. I think there's one video that's just the audio. It's not the video, it's just the audio. And that's all I could find on YouTube anymore. So I wanted to I wanted to relive the magic, and so I went on a hunt for it, and I found it on some Russian social media website that I've never heard of before.
And this was where were they playing? Were they playing in Russia?
No, the concert that I downloaded was their Live in Tokyo,
Dang.
which it's a great show.
But it was on a
Yeah, it was on this weird Russian social media website that I'd never heard of before. And yeah, I went through a hunt through Reddit to find a non-sketchy downloader for that Russian social media website.
Oof. Well, I mean, as long as you get it and you do a scan afterward, you're fine. So that's cool. I like that. Speaking of 80s, last week I was like doing dishes and I was tired after work and I'm like, I feel like listening to some 80s music. And so I was looking up covers, or I was looking up Burning Heart from Rocky IV, you know, the Survivor song, with a burning heart. And I was looking for it and I found it and I'm like, you know, this is good. I just want like a more non-studio version, like a live performance or something. So I looked up and all of the search in YouTube was just AI reworks. Like I clicked on one that said like epic version rework and I click on it and it's a very obvious AI voice. And I'm like, ooh, I don't.
That's
This sounds
terrible.
horrible. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna look up a cover of this. And I look up a cover and I found one and I just clicked on it and it was from a guy named Tommy Johansson. And my God, it was leaps and bounds better than the AI version. He sounded so good. You know, not as good as Survivor, but man, he sounded so close to it. And his own voice was he brought his own thing to it. It was exactly what I was seeking. And it was there. So cool.
Yeah. I had
Rocky
the
IV is
opposite.
great, by the way.
I had the opposite experience.
Oh no.
Like of finding an 80s artist covering a newer song that I wasn't expecting.
Ooh.
And it was really good actually.
Huh.
And it was, you know, the song Everlong by Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video out there of the old Mr. Rickroll himself
No.
doing like an acoustic cover of it where he just sings and plays acoustic guitar.
Oh man.
And it's really, really good.
Oh man, that sounds dope, dude. Reminds me of the like MTV Unplugged thing of Aha doing like the quiet version of Take on Me. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like a YouTube classic video right there. But man, it's really it's very it's weirdly ominous, but very quiet and very groovy. We'll say. I
Yeah,
like that. I like
that
that kind of.
version, I don't know, that version weirds me out.
It's very breathy and strange, and it's just a bizarre because you're so used to the the classic version. I just think it's interesting. I'm glad that they like did it live while they were before they got super old. We'll say. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
All
speaking
this music stuff reminds me, David.
what?
Reminds me of them good old days of just going to YouTube to mp3.com and
Oh yeah.
finding good covers and pasting that link in and downloading that crappy 128 kilobit MP3 file. Reminds me of those days.
Yeah. I used to frequent the YouTube downloader a lot myself. Although I think my favorite use of downloading a YouTube video I ever did was to download uh a a clip of a was to download a clip of a Dragon Ball Z abridged episode
Oh,
and
yeah.
use so I could use the song in it as my ringtone.
Oh man. I don't know if I want to know what the song was.
I'll have to show you it later. It's really funny because it's like the season 2 where they're on Namek, and like the when they're waiting for Goku to get healed up so he can defeat Frieza or whatever, and they're like doing their thing, and except Bulma's not with them. And then at one point, Krillin, like, no, not Krillin, whoever Goku's son is.
I can't help you there. I've only seen my only Dragon Ball experience is you showing me Dragon Ball Bridge, David. So Gohan. Okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
So yeah, Gohan is like, "Where's Bulma? What's she up to?" And then like Krillin's just like, "I don't know, probably doing girl stuff." And then it like hard cuts to like this scene, which I'm assuming was like filler or something in the original anime of like Bulma like killing sea creatures.
What?
And it's playing this like metal song, and it's like where the lyrics are just killing crabs in the ocean.
Killing crabs in the ocean.
It's like killing crabs in the ocean. Kill them fast. Pain explosion. And it's just that.
Oh man.
I think they actually got somebody to do like a whole version of that, like an expanded version of that.
Oh, that's
but like
dope.
it started off just that clip on the one that one Team 4-Star video. And so I downloaded that just so I could clip that section out so I could put that as my ringtone.
Oh, that's funny. There was a Minecraft series I used to watch when I was a teenager, and they did video submissions back in the day. Remember those, like video replies?
Yeah.
And so some dude did a whole song for the series Best Minecraft Seeds. I think you can still find it. His username was hello my name is, which is a great username. But he did like a whole song that was like a minute long with like his little keyboard and stuff about wanting to be on Best Minecraft Seeds. And yeah, it was interesting. Ready Up Live, that was a period of time in my life. Best Minecraft Seeds. That was fun. Back when you couldn't control the seeds or customize your worlds on the 360. You just had to put in a number and hopefully you get something. So that's cool. But speaking of music, it was interesting because Plex actually has a music app called Plex Amp.
Oh.
So I wanted to check that out because I have about, throughout the years of ripping CDs, downloading music, YouTube to MP3, and iTunes, I think my full music library, just from random stuff from all my siblings and stuff as well, like just accumulating all the music for me, all my MP3s, I think it's like 140 gigabytes. So it's like decent. And I would love to just, again, 8 terabytes, baby, just throw that on there.
Yeah.
And just have it. I think with all the video backups and audio backups for the podcast, I think with all that, together, I think we have only used 700 gigs.
Oh, dang.
So that's not too bad. And if we just do like just start with audio backups, that's not even going to be half of that or a quarter of that. It's going to be, excuse me, a lot less. Because each episode, each hour is about a gigabyte, give or take, when you render it.
Yeah, it's usually about a gigabyte per hour.
Yeah.
So like if it's an hour and a half episode, it's about 1.5 gigs. If it's a 2-hour episode, it's about 2 gigs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we can easily back that up. And with 100 or something episodes we've done with change, it's not going to take up that much at all.
Yeah, that'll make things easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'll have to show you how to I'll show you how to connect to that one on this one. So it'll be cool. But it's I want to get rid of my HBO Max eventually. Like I just need to throw Sopranos on the server and get all that together. Maybe a couple other shows and just get rid of Max, because I think that's now up to $18.50 a month for all the ad-free stuff.
Oh, yeah,
HBO Max. And with them, with Paramount eventually buying them, and I'm sure they're going to merge the streaming services. If this deal even finalizes, we'll see. But they say they're going to merge Max or HBO with Paramount Plus, which sounds horrible. And they're going to I don't know. It's a whole ordeal or kerfluffle. But yeah, man, I would like to get rid of it, because even if they bundle it together, $19.99, you get Paramount Plus and what's it called? HBO Max. It's like, I don't want Paramount Plus. I just want HBO Max, So it's like, yeah, it's a good deal, but do I need it?
Yeah, I feel like I'm in the place of I basically I think I've gotten rid of almost all of my streaming services, because I find that I don't use them nearly as much as I thought I would when I signed up for them.
Yep, same. I think I've watched less TV in the last 5 years than I did the 5 years before that.
So it's just as far as movies go, it's I can get by. I can get by for the most part with the movies I own or the movies I can borrow from a friend, or push comes to shove, I gotta rent it on YouTube or something.
Yeah, which is totally fine if you really want to watch it, like we've done for the podcast or what have you, a movie.
But to actually pay monthly to be able to watch TV shows and movies, it's I don't watch enough of them to justify that anymore.
Yeah, I have HBO mostly because Angie and Natalie and Chelsea sometimes use it, and I would like to get rid of it. I share Netflix with Angela, but their prices are going up again, so now it's going to be $25 a month or more for the premium. It's dude, this is getting crazy. This is getting back to TV prices almost, especially if you have multiple of these services.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is when Netflix started streaming, basically it was we've stepped in the future. Cable packages are a thing of the past. And
$10 a month? Wow, what a deal.
And we went right back to cable packages.
Yeah.
Now it's delivered through the internet instead of through cable.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking just now about well, hey, Jake, I rewatch The Office all the time. Making a server is kind of useless for me. Again, if you have a laptop and just a 2 terabyte external hard drive, you can make this the same kind of setup work. It's not super future proof, but it'll get you going. And if it saves you a couple months of Netflix or NBC Peacock or whatever, you can throw the whole Office on there or sail the high seas and get it, or rip your DVD copies or whatever and do that. Especially if say you're a young couple out there or something like that. Most likely you're the guy in this relationship. Let's be real. If you're listening to the Snarp Fangle podcast, if you're if you're the male counterpart in that relationship and you're listening to this and you're like, well, yeah, she just can't stop watching Gilmore Girls. Screw it. Get it off Pirate Bay or whatever. Find a torrent link and get it and put it on there, and just delete all the other apps and put Plex on there. Be like, honey, we're getting rid of Netflix,
Yeah, I mean, I feel too with something like Plex, it's you don't really need a server necessarily. Just install Plex on your computer.
Also, Plex also has a live TV feature, and this is why some people don't like Plex. for a couple of reasons. One of them is it seems like they're moving toward a live TV service model, which is interesting. You can actually watch like, hey, this channel just has Stargate SG-1, or this channel has Star Trek, or Gilmore Girls, for example, or 80s classics or whatever. And as Disney Plus and Netflix are doing that anyway with live TV, so why not just do Plex for free? Like, I can go on the app right now and I can just watch those channels. Kind of like, there's ads, of course, but just like Tubi or something. It's free.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, it's basically like, the old antenna TV of yore.
Yeah.
You got limited channels and you got to watch commercials, but you don't got to pay for it.
Yeah. And then Plex also has this like thing, and I want to dive more into Jellyfish. I'm just kind of
Jellyfin.
Did I say Jellyfish? Yeah, Jellyfin. Yeah, I want to get into Jellyfin too because it's totally open source and there's like open plugins for like your media organization. You can make custom thumbnail. You can upload your custom artwork if you want for whatever show if you really want to get nitty gritty with it. I don't think I'll go that nitty gritty, but like it has like an intro skipper plugin, an anime debrief plugin. I think there's a plugin about specifically for anime where you can go through and it lists all the episodes that are filler. This is like, oh, that's kind of cool. So,
that is cool.
Yeah, so that's what Jellyfin is. The only thing with Jellyfin is you can't like. Netflix has a monthly subscription where you can pay, and I don't know how much. I think it's like, I don't know the price range, but you pay per month and you can remote into your server. Basically, it does the port forwarding for you. It does have a lifetime thing. It's expensive though. It's like $250. I'm half tempted right now, just diving into this to kind of just pay for that and be done with it so I don't have to mess with anything. And I can carry that account forward forever. So I think I'm considering it, but again.
I mean, it is a lot of money to drop at once, but it's kind of cool that they let you do that.
And I can, from my phone, I can just download anything from my home server. And I can also, like, if I'm outside of the network, I'm traveling, I can log into my account and boom, it's my own Netflix. And I don't have to pay monthly for it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And you can also, and the cool thing about Plex is, and specifically, I should say Jellyfin, it can transcribe automatically. What's it called? Transcode. It can transcode automatically. So like say you have an HDR video of like Zootopia or whatever on the server, but it's all grayed out if you go to the PC. You can just go to your TV and it'll automatically transcribe it for you. It's pretty cool.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, open source software has really gone so far these days.
Yeah.
Like we've talked before about like modern Doom engines now. It's crazy what you can do with them.
Oh, I need to send you a couple Doom inspired games I found that were developers who worked on GZ Doom stuff. I'll have to send you that later.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, and then I've also been messing around with some open source guitar modeling software, which is really interesting.
Oh, interesting.
Because
how does that work?
So basically, like if you're playing electric guitar, you don't just plug your guitar into a mixing board and you're done. Like the sound of an electric guitar is more than just the guitar. There's an amp involved, there's a speaker involved, because guitar speakers are not like for like like loudspeakers for a PA system or whatever. They're not the same thing at all. Like if you try to play like a guitar through just like a PA system, it sounds completely different. So guitar speakers are voiced specifically for guitar. Guitar amplifiers are voiced specifically for guitar. And then oftentimes there's other hardware that affects the sound in some way. And all of that taken together is your finished product of what you actually hear on the song. So in the old days, you had to have all this stuff. You buy guitar amps, either in combos that come with speakers, or if they're not in combos, if it's just the amp, then you have to buy a speaker cabinet to go with it. And then you have your different effects pedals, your distortions, your fuzzes, your reverbs, your delays, and whatnot.
Oh, dang.
And you put all that stuff together, and that's your rig. and
Jeez.
that's how you get your guitar sound for whatever music you want to play. Um, and in recent years, like technology that can model all that stuff digitally and then do it all just in one convenient little unit has become like it used to be like back in the day, like you could have like modeled guitar amps on like little dinky like the Line 6 pod or whatever that was popular back in the day. And but it wouldn't really sound like the stuff it was supposedly modeling.
Mm.
Nowadays, like modeling technology has come so far that like honestly, it's the models are now mostly indistinguishable from the real thing.
Hmm.
And so it's really nice because you can have one unit that takes the place of all your other gear that you used to have, and it just does all that stuff in one box.
Hmm.
Um, but up until now, all that stuff has been locked behind hardware that costs a chunk of money.
Yeah.
Like guitar gear has never been cheap. Um, but like, these these the newer modelers that can get the really accurate sounds kind of continue that trend. They're not cheap either.
Hmm.
Um, but what's really cool is I found something called neural amp modeling. Someone like basically created this program that uses machine learning to create profiles of amplifiers and other gear at whatever setting it was, and then you run a signal like a guitar through that, and it reacts as if it were the actual amplifier in a digital form. But
Yo.
instead of being locked into proprietary hardware,
Yeah.
it's open source software that you can just put into any digital audio workstation. And on top of that,
Like on the fly when you're playing, it automatically translates it too.
yeah, so you can play through your computer, and this model basically turns your guitar and makes it sound like you're playing through whatever amp you have profiled.
Oh my God.
And it's
Dude.
like that technology has existed in other forms, but it's always in proprietary hardware. You have to buy the hardware
Yeah.
to get the software capabilities to do that. Now, this is just completely open source software that
Whoa.
you can install on any digital audio workstation. And then on top of that, you have this whole community that's dedicated to sharing um, profiles of their own gear. So, like, you don't even have to own the gear necessarily to have access to its sound anymore, because you could find somebody on the internet who already owned the gear and trained a model using the amp modeling software and put it up on the internet for you to use, and you just load that model into your neural amp modeler software, and boom, you have the sound of their gear, whatever it was.
Dude.
And it's crazy. And that's not even the craziest part. So this is all open source. This is all free, like for the most part. Like obviously you have to sort through the people who don't know what they're doing and they make really bad sounding profiles.
Yeah.
But you can find really good, really high quality profiles that people have just put up on the internet for free for you to use. And this particular profiling technology is actually at the cutting edge of modeling technology in general. It's not like the like less capable cousin of all the proprietary software that was in the proprietary hardware units. It's actually on the cutting edge of modeling in general, because there's this principle in audio called the null principle. Because like an audio waveform, you've probably seen them work editing the videos, you have your audio waveform and it goes like that,
Mhm.
you know, and
Up and down, yeah.
up and down, up and down. So, um, what you can do with audio is you can reverse the phase of the audio. Take all the points on the waveform that were valleys and turn them into peaks, and turn all the peaks into valleys. It's a simple thing that's been around for decades.
Okay.
Flipping the phase of an audio signal. But there's this principle called the null principle that if you, and this applies to waves in real life as well. This is not just like digital audio.
Like actual water waves.
Like water waves do this, light waves do this, but this principle still works in the digital audio realm. It's like a principle of wave physics.
Yeah.
You take a waveform of whatever, a sound, a light, a pressure wave, whatever, and you flip its phase. You copy it and flip its phase. This is why it's mostly useful in the digital realm, because you can easily do this. Take an audio file, copy it, and then flip the phase of the copy. You play them at the same time so that the peak and the valleys line up with each other. They have to, and they have to be the same for this to work. That's why it's called that's why it's important that it's the same audio file, just phase flipped. Because when the same audio file, two copies of the same waveform meet and they're not changed in any way, like the peaks meet up with the peaks and the valleys meet up with the valleys, it basically causes you to hear just the one audio file, but louder.
Yeah, louder, yeah.
But if you flip the phase of one of them so that when they combine, the peaks of one meet up with the valleys of the other one, they actually cancel each other out, and all you hear is silence.
Interesting.
And it's this is why it's in digital audio, because it's very easy to do this in a digital audio workstation. You take an audio track, you copy, paste it to another track, flip the phase on the first track, hit play on both of them. You'll have no sound.
Okay.
And then you mute one of them, and then the sound comes back. So that's the null principle.
Okay.
So the idea is how do we scientifically determine what guitar modeling technology is actually getting closer to the real thing? Well, the only way you can possibly do this is with something called the null test. So you, because now with digital audio is you can reamp sounds. Before, in the days of old, if you wanted to compare two pieces of gear, you had to play through one, unplug, plug into it, play through the other one. And the problem is even if you play the same thing, you're a person. Your performance was not exactly the same both times.
Not exactly.
Now, in the days of digital audio being like figured out, a solved issue, you can actually take an audio file, send it out of your audio interface, plug it into an amplifier as if it were somebody playing that. Like you can record an audio waveform of you just playing your guitar.
Like ding, 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 ding.
And then, but it's just the raw audio of the guitar. And then you send that recorded file out from your audio interface into the front of your amp. And so the front of your amp sees that audio file as if you were actually playing that into the amplifier.
So it turns a ding, 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 ding into a wham, 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 wham.
Yeah, essentially.
Huh.
So now you can compare different things very easily because you can use a reamp box or an audio interface to send out the same copy of you playing something into multiple pieces of gear. And so what this does what people have done is they're comparing modeling technology by using the modeling technology to model an amp that they have.
Dang, that's cool.
And
So you get the
then
same
and
sound
then they compare.
digitally.
They send an audio file, they reamp an audio file through the real amplifier the same way they set the same way that they use to create the model from. Then they record its output as another audio file. Then they send their original audio file into the model they just created and record its output. And then they flip the phase on one, sum them together, and listen for what remains. Because what remains of the audio is the difference between them.
Oh, so you can pinpoint exactly how to get the same thing?
It's essentially you're measuring how much audio is left. Because like I said, if it's the same audio and you flip the phase and combine it, there'll be silence.
Yeah, silence.
But if it's almost the same, there'll be a little, you'll still hear a little bit of noise.
Bits of imperfections or whatever.
And what digital audio workstations can also do is they can measure the loudness of an audio track and attach a number to it.
Yeah.
I do that with the podcast. Yeah. I measure the loudness of it, so make sure it's in a certain range of loudness. So basically what you do is you have the output of your real amplifier and the output of the model of that amplifier. You flip the phase on one, and then you measure the loudness level of whatever's left over. And so the less overall level you can get, the less leftover noise there is, the more accurate the model is. And this was a long-winded explanation.
So this is how they're training the model, basically.
This is how they're determining how accurate they are.
Oh, that's cool.
And so what all this was leading up to was this open source software. Multiple people have been doing these tests. This open source software is getting better null test results than like software that you have to buy hardware units that cost like over $1,000.
Jeez.
Like stuff like the Line 6 Helix, like the Quad Cortex, stuff like that has been like the forefront of guitar modeling technology, and you have to pay thousands of dollars for the hardware units that that modeling technology comes on. Now, this completely open source free software is actually posting better null test results than those. That's the crazy part about it. Not that just that it's free, when before you had to pay for specialty hardware in order to use this capability. Now the free stuff is actually better than the stuff that costs thousands of dollars.
The actual hardware. So so I can wrap my mind around this, so say you buy the interface. Is it okay? So the thing in that video I sent you about the piece of hardware that Marty O'Donnell used for Halo to get the way the soundtrack sounded, that's like an interface, right?
Oh, are you talking about the one video where he was like messing around?
Yeah, he's messing around with
the unit. To get the Halo soundtracks.
Yes, that thing, is that called an interface, or what do you call that piece of hardware?
I mean, for are you talking about the Halo 1 video?
Yes.
Yeah, so that was not an audio interface.
Okay,
that was actually a synthesizer.
Okay.
A synthesizer is basically like an electronic instrument that instead of creating its sounds through natural means like vibrating strings or tubes or whatever, it creates it purely through digital synthesis, or
like different frequencies, basically.
Like it basically uses components, like electrical components, to manipulate like a sine wave or whatever. So you start off with like a sine wave or a sawtooth wave or a triangle wave or some kind of electrical signal that has a defined frequency, and then it uses signal processors to shape that sound into something that is either like a completely new sound or something that kind of sounds like things you've heard before.
Mm.
Because there's a lot of like with the Halo soundtrack,
Yeah.
there's a lot of synthesizer sounds in the Halo soundtrack, like the Halo 1 soundtrack, that sound kind of like strings, or they
Yeah.
sound kind of like voices, like choirs going, ah, that kind of a thing. Like the Halo 2 soundtrack was actually recorded legit,
Yeah. Legit.
like
Yeah.
with like actual singers and
Orchestras
stuff.
and
And
yeah.
but like the Halo 1 soundtrack, yeah, he was using a synthesizer unit that basically manipulates an electrical signal to get sounds that are reminiscent
Hmm.
of like natural sounds, but you can also use them to get completely new sounds that natural instruments can't make. But yeah, so that's a synthesizer. That's actually been around for a while.
Yeah. Well, I ask because I wonder if people who still have the specific one that Marty O'Donnell used or whoever else has those to put that into this like this AI learning machine, this machine learning thing that you're talking about so that you can replicate that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Does that make sense? I'm trying to wrap my round of this concept.
Yeah, that's a little bit different.
Okay.
There's modeling for synthesizers.
Okay.
But this modeling that I'm talking about is specifically for guitar gear.
Oh, guitar gear. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Like stuff that's not the guitar that you still need to make the
The sound.
sound that we identify as electric guitar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this does. This model's guitar gear specifically, but there's also
Because this replicates the gear.
yeah, this replicates not the guitar, but it
Yeah, not the
replicates
gear,
the
guitar.
gear that turns the guitar
signal into whatever you want it to sound like.
exactly.
That's really interesting.
Yeah, the synthesizer actually makes the sound itself.
Okay, gotcha.
It takes a sine wave or whatever and manipulates it either digitally or through analog signal processing to come out with the final result. And what's interesting though is modeling has come to such a point where like I can pull up Logic Pro, which is the digital audio workstation that I use to mix the podcast episodes on. I can pull up Logic Pro and have access to like modeled synth sounds that are like modeled after famous synthesizers.
Oh, that's dope.
And like I just have it all at my fingertips.
Oh.
So like modeling technology is come so far.
So far. Well, what fascinates me about this, the fact that the whole thing with the guitar stuff, the fact that it's open source and it's free boggles my mind because learning about the audio stuff with the podcast, just from what you've told me, and the price of a lot of plugins and lifetime licenses you buy for these plugins and the range of $60 to hundreds and hundreds of dollars, knowing the knowledge of that and then figuring out, and then you telling me this thing's free, it's like, and that it replicates hardware and what the specific hardware you're choosing sounds like. Whoa, that boggles my mind. And the fact that, how tenacious and ravenous the audio community is, oh, they're going to have a field day with this. There's going to be a lot of older hardware people are going to try to find to put into this model, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, already
that sounds awesome.
Already what's on there is pretty amazing. I'm actually really excited. Mostly I've just been figuring out how to like make use of this because
yeah,
like I really love like the sound of these models is like so lifelike and real. And it's crazy this is coming from a free product. So I'm mostly figuring out how to just use it like cuz I've never been one to like plug my guitar into a laptop to try and like play like for a live performance or whatever. So I'm mostly in the stage of just trying to figure out how to use this stuff instead of using my normal gear that I have.
Yeah.
But what I'm excited to do is this actually will actually open up new possibilities for the gear I have already.
Yeah.
Because one thing about guitar amps is they're loud. Like they are loud as balls. Like, dude, when you hear me play electric guitar at church, like like I struggle. Like I've spent years perfecting the art of figuring out how to turn down these amplifiers to an absurd degree
Yeah.
without just turning them off
Yeah,
completely.
dude, I can picture Sarah coming up to me in the beginning of worship. Don't you think it's a little loud today?
So yeah, it's
It's a struggle.
so yeah, getting guitar amplifiers to behave in situations where you can't be like,
A
you know,
loud, echoey room, for
rock
example.
concert levels
Yeah.
is really difficult, especially if they're like, tube amplifiers of, you know, modeled after designs of a bygone era.
Hmm.
Um, so that's always been a struggle with tube amplifiers. All the tube amplifiers that I've played and owned over the years, um, is just taming the volume. And because like playing for church is way different than playing like a rock concert.
Hmm.
Like playing for church, you gotta bring the volume way down.
Hmm.
And so what's really exciting is when I figure out actually get to the point where I'm figuring out how to profile my own amplifiers, I'll have access to the sound of those amplifiers like driven balls to the walls,
Hmm.
but at a manageable volume.
And that you have the knowledge of how to manage the audio level and the specific number associated with the loudness
Well, because of what
as
it is
well.
is because what it is guitar amplifiers like of like the kinds that I've used mostly that are tube driven, they get their sound by overloading the components inside of them. So you have
Hmm.
vacuum tubes instead of like diodes.
Huh.
Um, it's this is what guitar technology is like, is we're using outdated technology to get, basically deliver a result that's pleasing to the ear. So basically these guitar amplifiers are purpose built to abuse the the vacuum tubes inside of the amplifier.
Hmm.
So they essentially use these vacuum tubes as amplification stages, and one tube amplifies the signal to a level that it overloads the next tube.
Hmm.
And then that tube sends out a distorted signal that
Oh, huh.
overloads the tube after it. And the sum of all those overloaded tubes is the guitar sound when after it's filtered through a guitar speaker.
Huh.
And so that's why guitar amps are so loud. But nowadays, like, you know, uh, like the speakers I have right there,
Hmm.
or like the PA system at our church or whatever, that's not relying on overdriving vacuum tubes. That's using like solid state technology to cleanly amplify a
Hmm.
signal, because it's just designed to take whatever you feed it and make it louder.
Yeah.
That's all it's designed for. And
Hmm.
because it's designed in that way, the volume is very easy to manage.
Yeah. Huh.
So the real thing, the real strength of this is I'll be able to model my own amplifier, which I really love the sound of, but it has no master volume. So in order to get it to do the thing I just described, it has to be turned up to a level where it'll peel paint off the walls. And also, this is an amplifier that is not exactly a common amplifier. It's not like, because there's certain models of guitar amplifier that have, you could buy them anywhere, and any modeling software will already have models of those built into it. This one's a little different. This is like an amp from a small builder in Arizona
Oh, whoa.
who like his like if you want to buy an amp from him, you basically gotta get put on a wait list for him to build it
Yeah, for
for
him to
you.
build it. Dang.
Or you could do what I did and hunt around on the internet till you find a used one,
Hmm.
and then um and like it's really slim pickings. Like I had to hunt
Really?
to get this one.
Huh.
So like I can't just get that on any old modeling software. But now with this modeling software being completely open source, I can literally model my own amplifier that I can't find anywhere else.
Hmm.
And then I turn that into a model of it on my laptop.
Huh.
And then my laptop just goes through the PA system at church and it takes that peeling paint off the walls volume and just, turns it into a
stable,
manageable, friendly volume.
So theoretically, to help wrap my mind around this again, you could take sounds from that amp from Arizona that guy made, put it in your model. You could take the one from, say, the one you have at the church and put it in the model.
Yeah.
You can take one from your nasty old amp when you were in high school and you got that grangy sound that still works on that one note, and you could put that in the model.
Yeah.
And now you have your own model.
Yeah.
And the machine learning thing can take your input and translate that to whatever sounds you have in the model.
Yeah, that
Wow.
technology is actually, and that's a really exciting part of it, is being able to have accurate models of your own gear, whatever it may be, because you can do that with the specialized hardware, but all the good modeling is before this development. Good modeling was expensive in general, but the modeler hardware that actually lets you model your own gear was like another level of cost.
Yeah.
And now I can model my own gear with free software, and the model actually in like a scientific setting is actually going to be more accurate than if I'd used the massively expensive specialized hardware to model my gear with. It's crazy.
Yeah. Dang, that's cool. Cool deep dive. I'm not a music nerd at all. Again, I'm very ignorant. I don't know the stuff in that space, but to know that, but I'm familiar with like open source technology, stuff like that, and the concept. That is really cool. The fact that community is really, and I'm sure it's growing too. Like feeding stuff in there, putting your own stuff in there, customizing it. It's pretty dope. And the fact it's free, man, that's crazy, dude. It's like WinRAR all over again.
Yeah. Well, WinRAR
that's different, I guess.
Was never supposed to be free.
Or make MKV. It's always in beta. One other thing I wanted to touch on is the AI model or the AI machine learning that's doing that. Do you know how Shazam works?
Shazam?
Yeah, like the app.
That tells you what song you're listening to?
Yeah, the way that works is it takes whatever song is out there, and it basically translates it to a number that the AI, like the model knows, or like the app, basically,
Yeah,
the algorithm. It takes it and it translates that. So if it hears that, it knows what number to go to, and then it can find that song for you. But when you have somebody singing that song, it ain't gonna recognize it because it's not the exact file, right?
Yeah.
So I was, when you were starting to tell me about the model, I'm like, oh, cool. So this is like a database of people implementing their own hardware that the model can, the machine learning can take and translate that to stuff that it knows. But then as you were explaining it more, it's not more of a database. It's more of like a tool you can use to make your own library.
Essentially, yes.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it too is, like, there's actually a website set up that, and this is also where people upload like the models they make of their own gear. So not only can you browse this website just for like, say you wanna, like, I've got a jam coming up where they're probably gonna want me to play bass. I don't normally play bass because I normally play guitar in church, but in this jam, they're probably gonna want me to play bass. And all my bass gear is currently being borrowed by someone else. So I went to this website and like, what's a cool sounding bass amplifier that I can that I would want to have as like my bass sound for this jam. And I was like, ooh, an Ampeg SVT. Like, ooh, it's a classic piece of gear. It's got a cabinet that's like the size of a speaker cabinet is like the size of a refrigerator.
Whoa.
And the amp head itself is like this wide and like
Oh my
this
God.
deep and this
4
high.
by
And it
4 by
weighs
2
like
by 1. Dang.
and it weighs like 50 pounds.
God.
Um,
Like a
but
giant tube TV.
but I've seen, I mean, I've heard, I've never owned an SVT because that's way too rich for my blood. But I've seen people who played bands who have played bass through an SVT, and the sound that comes out of those things is glorious. So I was like, can I go on this website and just find a good sounding capture of an Ampeg SVT with a fridge cabinet? And I did. I typed up Ampeg SVT, and it's like, here's a model that has, you know, thousands of downloads, and Ampeg SVT, not only the amp head itself, but it also has, they modeled the fridge speaker cabinet as well. That's a essential recipe to the sound. And they have wave files of like raw bass and guitar samples already uploaded to the website that you can play through the model on the website to audition what it sounds like without even having to download it. And then if you want to profile your own gear, you can go to that same website and you can use Google Collaborate or whatever it's called, Google Colab, or to run the training process on their servers without having to actually download the training software yourself. So it's like this like community has come together and basically made this like website that's a one-stop shop for everything you could possibly want or need for this this modeling technology.
Man, church service is about to go crazy, man. Let me tell you. That's really interesting. Yeah, man, Doom mods and guitar models, and man, you're getting there, David. Next, you're gonna have your own Doom game that has soundtrack samples from those certain hardware you mentioned.
Man, I would love to get into. I would love to get into like composing like game soundtracks or something.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Because like I already got. I mean, like the synthesizer sounds on Logic are pretty good. Like they're models of like strings and horns, not quite as good, but they're synthesizer models.
What you should do is I mean, I don't know anything about making music, but what I've been hearing from just different people is make a melody like da-na-na-na-na-na-na or whatever. Like if you're gonna write a song, just say blah ba da ba da ba da bum, blah ba da ba da ba da bum. Just make the melody and then write words if you're gonna do words, for example, and then do words. But you could also do it with just the sounds, like just make a melody or something that makes sense and then try to match it with instruments or something like that. I mean, that could work.
Yeah.
But if that's not your process, I mean, find out what works for you, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
I'm waiting for that album, David. You're gonna make an album one day.
Yeah, I've written songs. I've composed things before. It's mostly just like I gotta have like something that I believe in to want to convince me to do it. Like I composed the soundtrack short as it was because it was like a minute and a half long video. Technically I composed the soundtrack for our last youth group commercial. So like I've done it. It's just like
time and a purpose.
Yeah, it takes time and energy, and I don't want to just spend a bunch of time composing like video game music that's never going to be used on a video game.
Yeah.
But one day, if like I run into an indie developer who's like, "Hey, I'm making this game," and they're like, "Hey, I make music. Do you need music for your game?" Like that would be a cool opportunity that I'd be down for.
Do you know how they found the composer for the Expedition 33 soundtrack?
No.
They found him on SoundCloud.
Oh, okay.
Connected with him and said, "Hey, we kind of like your stuff, and you want to do a game soundtrack?" All right, yeah, sure. And then it's probably one of the most beautiful soundtracks I've ever heard in any video game. At least modern video games, probably one of the best of all time for modern stuff, at least. Although the way they found him on soundtrack was samples he had.
Yeah.
You got to make some samples, David. Get your stuff out there.
Yeah, I just gotta
Make a theme for the podcast.
I just gotta record more stuff. I've got stuff.
Recreate for me, David. I'll commission you. I'll pay you money. Recreate the. Oh God, what's that commercial? The PBS thing.
Oh, are you talking
Eyewitness.
Eyewitness.
Recreate the Eyewitness theme for me.
I already did.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot you did. I need to listen to that now.
I need to go. It's a rough thing.
It's a rough cut, yeah.
I need to go over it again, but the bones are there.
Yeah, the bones are there.
It's
dope. I like it.
Yeah, so yeah, I've got stuff. I guess I just don't really have the time or the energy to like put out tons and tons of it.
Yeah.
But I have stuff that's out there. Mm-hmm. I mean,
we barely get this podcast out every week sometimes, you know? You and me both work, what, 50, 60 hours each sometimes or week?
Yeah.
Pretty much. And we busy weekends with youth ministry, church, worship. Ugh.
Yeah, it's just one
kind
of
a
those
miracle
things.
We get this podcast out every week.
Yeah, when you have responsibilities, it limits what you're able to do. But
yes, sir.
I do, I would love to, I've been meaning to I gotta sort of reorient my life in order to have more energy for things like composing music and writing songs and stuff. Not that I don't do that, but I would like to do it more, but I just need to discipline myself better. That's basically what it comes down to. I need to get more structure into my life so that I'm not tired all the time. Which I'm working on.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten there yet, but I'm working on it. So
just do your best, and I'm sure there's always that somebody out there saying, "Well, the only person stopping you is you." I mean, there's truth in that. Sure,
I mean, yeah, it's true.
But also, you have to live your life, and you would, at somewhat point, would like to enjoy it, regardless of whatever step of the journey you're on. I mean, we don't have 1 million subscribers. I guess we're on the road to it, but I'm just enjoying the journey even at 90 subscribers, even at 10 subs.
Yeah.
Just enjoying that journey.
Yeah, this podcast is one of those things where it's like, I mean, it does require effort, but it doesn't require so much effort that it's, that it feels burdensome to do it.
Yeah, the highlights for me, at least, that felt really burdensome. And those do gain traction and attention to the channel through the algorithm at times. But they just take a lot of time that I don't have to put them in, I would like to do them, but it just takes time.
Yeah, but thankfully now we have somebody who can help us with that from time to time.
That's true. Yeah.
So we're definitely, I feel like for this channel to actually grow at some point, we will have to bring other people on board.
Yeah.
In order to do things. So, but as far as just what the two of us are able to accomplish, yeah, it's it's rewarding. It's rewarding enough that it makes the effort that it does take worth it, even though we don't have to, we don't make money from this or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just the knowledge that we're, that we're creating something, that we're putting ourselves out there. And also too, it affords us opportunities to have conversations with people that we might not normally have, It's as people we see in our day-to-day lives, but you don't always have time to have an hour-long discussion about Half-Life. Even though you might want to.
Yeah.
You don't always have the time to do that. But the fact that we already do this is okay, well, now we can allot time to do that.
Yeah, schedule.
Yeah.
Figure things out. Talk about, hey, I always wanted to talk about that, or rewatch The Black Cauldron, or talk about Xbox and where they're headed, or something like that. or have like in-depth discuss, which is something I think is really cool, which is Theo Bros. Like we only have one episode of that so far, short for Theological Bros. But I think there's a lot of potential for that specifically because I don't see a lot of, and I don't really search it out to be fair, but I don't see a lot of podcasts like that, honestly, where they're taking not deep dives, but they're having an honest conversation about the word, about how we experience it in our lives and testimonies, and also how the world interacts with that too. So it's kind of cool. So we are some bright prospects here, sir. But I think we'll end it there. I think that was fun, David. Thank you. I wasn't expecting you to go on for, I don't know, 40 minutes about audio. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
once I got my head wrapped around, I'm like, oh, all right.
I wasn't expecting to do that either, honestly. I was expecting like to just kind of gloss over it and then we'd move on to something else. But like as I was explaining it, I was like,
there's so much more.
I was like, I need to actually go deeper just so that people understand what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And that's what I love about podcasts. It's like I could go watch a 20-minute video about something, but like the time and the journey to get to that explanation for the human brain to wrap their mind around it. That's what podcasts are for. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go organize Recess and Fillmore, 2 Disney afternoon shows, the 2000s, that I'd like to revisit at some point. So anyway, thank you for listening to us rabble on. And if you're interested in the home media stuff, I'm going to leave some description. I'm going to leave some videos down in the description for you guys to check out on YouTube that I've been recommended. I've watched that really helped me in the home media server journey. And David, do you want to put down any of the audio links in there? Like maybe the website for that?
Oh
yeah,
and stuff, definitely.
Yeah, go ahead and send me those after we're done.
Yeah, for any guitar players in our audience, I don't know any personally, but if they're out there, definitely I'll put some links for the neural amp modeling stuff. It's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, we'll throw them down there. And thank you guys for listening to this. Remember out there, when your Netflix subscription gets to $45 a month, and they've merged with Disney and Hulu and Apple, now it's $150. Welcome back to the age of the NFL Sunday Ticket on DirecTV. We'll bid you adieu and we'll see you later. And remember, when you see the beauty of how helping each other out in small communities works out in real life, and you translate that to technology, life can be pretty good sometimes. So take care. Good night. Good luck. And Snarp Fangle on.
Bye-bye now.